All right.
Thank you.
Not unexpected, I suppose.
Well, this was not unexpected. They were playing tricks on us. They said 2%, but the real intention was to increase VAT with 0.5 this year and 0.5 next year, which would lead to 16%. They've run out of ideas on how to generate revenue for the state. This is not an instruction to Parliament. In terms of Public Management Finance Act, he's allowed to come and make a proposal according to Section 27 of that Act. And then we must then be allowed through committees to engage on this matter and come back and debate it here and adopt it here. We will not support any form of increase on VAT. We agree that we need to protect SRD. We agree that we need to invest in infrastructure, but let's test the rich. Let the corporate tax be increased. Let there be tax on the wealthy people of South Africa who buy buffaloes for 22 million. Those people should be made to pay and finance the social responsibilities of the state.
Mr. Malema, so what happens now? I mean, we heard earlier from your party that you've got wiggle room in terms of having some of the acts amended in order to accommodate your wishes, for example, a structural response, a legal response to this particular budget. How are you going to play it now?
We are going to make sure that as through our participation in the Finance Committee, we amend this budget and redirect the monies that want to be achieved through increase of VAT.
What we said earlier when the budget was canned 3 weeks ago, we said that the GNU is a farce, and it actually is a farce. I mean, it was hugely embarrassing for our country, and it remains embarrassing. It's quite clear that the GNU haven't agreed on it at the moment. So for us, it's extremely disappointing, but the budget will be presented today. And from an Action SA perspective, we will not support any VAT increases. We think there's enough revenue in the system. We just think that there's just too much wastage, too much corruption and incompetence. You know, I sit on the Standing Committee on Finance, SCOPA, and the Auditor General, and I just see firsthand how much corruption and wastage there is in the system. So it's pointless asking people to pay more taxes, yet the fiscus is going to waste more money. It's totally unacceptable. But the one issue that seems to get missed in all of this thing is just the lack of economic growth. You know, our economic growth has been revised down from 1.3% to 1.1% to 0.8%, now to 0.6%. And we're talking about an SRD grant, but people don't want a grant. They want a job. You know, Martin Luther King Jr. talks about how unemployment is like psychological murder. We need to get people employed. You know, we need to get people fed. And the only way we're going to do that is getting through significant economic growth. And that's why we say the GNU is anti-growth, because growth has gone backwards since the GNU's come in. So we want to see bold reforms to get the growth going. I sit on the Auditor General's Committee, and I asked her one day, because she was really, you could see she was exasperated by what's actually going on. And I said, what is the one thing that you would recommend? And she said, for corrupt officials to be in orange overalls. And that's the biggest problem at the moment. Corrupt officials are not going to jail.
I know that it's been a hectic morning, and we know, and it's been a hectic run-up until here. What was the tone in the room, in the Cabinet meeting?
I cannot talk about what's happened in the Cabinet room. That is bound by Cabinet confidentiality. So I cannot get any background on that. What I can oversay is that the Democratic Alliance will not be supporting the budget in its current form, and therefore the budget being tabled today does not have a parliamentary majority. We obviously put on the table a number of our requirements to stimulate growth and jobs and to move beyond just tax and spend, and those have not been acceded to. We obviously remain open to further discussions before these budget instruments are voted on in Parliament in the coming months. But as the budget sits today, we are not able to support it in its current form.
But it will be tabled?
I've no doubt it will be tabled, but tabling a budget that doesn't have a majority, I don't know what the consequences of that are, but these are consequences that the Finance Minister and others will have to bear.